5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And this is Shot 30 Podcast, and I am Shayne Neubert. And sitting across from me today is one of my favorite people in the entire world, Addy Cortes. How are you, Miss Addy?
I'm good, Shane. How are you?
I'm good. Me and Addy were up all night. Me, Timmery, Addy, and Carrie pulled a 5 a.m.er.
Yeah, that was, well, and then after that, did we actually really sleep? Or
No
was
one
it
ever.
just,
No
okay.
one really slept.
I was going to say, I don't
Yep, that was a party night. That's the way it works at the Neubert house.
remember. Things hit differently in the Neubert house.
Yeah, they do. They do. And if you guys don't know, Addy is Carrie Cortes. He was a guest on the show not so long ago. Carrie Cortes is a close friend of mine as well, but he was just on the show. And yeah, so now it's Addy's turn. And Addy has a story to tell.
I do. I just thought it would be kind of nice to get my story out for, people that have been through it, but, it's not really talked about. All the time. It's actually becoming more talked about, and it's adoption and the foster system and stuff like that. It's actually just become a big part of who I am, and so I just like to show, like,
sorry.
No, you're fine. I just like to show people what it's meant to me,
yes,
and what it's done for me and my family.
Okay, so can I start with, like, what age were you adopted?
I was 5 years old.
Okay.
So
do you remember anything beforehand?
Yes.
Okay.
And so that's a big part of why it does influence me so much. And not to say that I let it control who I am, but I at least, you have to let these things build you as a person.
Oh, absolutely.
And yeah, it made me thankful for my family and the family that I've come into. And even it's shown me how much that, like, we understand you don't have to be related to someone to be family.
Absolutely.
Like, you guys are our family and we're not related at all. It's,
yeah.
I mean, it's really something that the love you can show to other people when you realize that it doesn't have to be like family is family.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And well, so that's awesome. Now you said that you remember beforehand. What do you remember? Now, were you actually in the foster system for a while?
Yes.
Okay.
So I would say it was around when I was 2, so I don't have the broadest memories, but I do have flashes. And, like, I remember being in the courtrooms, and I remember, getting tossed into houses. My parents laugh at this. I remember the day that my adoptive parents walked into the emergency foster home that we were living at the time. And if anyone knows me, knows this story is definitely true, because they walked through the door. And I ran right up to them and said, "Hi, my name is Addy, and this is my little brother Nathan." And I took him over to the crib, and, I introduced ourselves. And
yeah, because Nathan would have been real young at that point, yeah.
Yep.
Because you're 4 years older?
15 months.
Oh, shit, okay. No, I thought... I don't know why I thought that for some reason. Well, it's because I always think you're older. That's why. Because I think that you're 27, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I always think you're 29.
Yep.
I don't know why. But I just Carrie, yeah.
And I'm, like, a little bit mature.
Oh, you're so much more mature than Carrie. You are more mature than Carrie. I think.
Sometimes. But, it's okay. It depends on the situation. I'll give him that.
Carrie's a big lug, dude.
I love him. But, it...
What do you think he's doing right now?
He's either sitting on the couch...
I bet he's in the candy fridge. I bet he's in the candy. Or he's probably in the hot tub again.
I was going to say, he might have snuck out to the garage. That was my other
I can only let him borrow so many pairs of my underwear. Like, he needs to start bringing a swimsuit over.
He leaves them in the sinks, then he leaves them in the tub, and then it's like, okay, where's he going to leave them next? You don't know. That's my life, Shane.
Yeah. And Zach's bachelor party, Carrie got in the hot tub in his boxers. And then he changed into whatever the hell he changed into. He left his underwear in the sink. And I'm not washing his underwear. I mean, there's a lot of things that I do for Carrie, but wash his underwear, that's for you. That ain't for me.
We actually finally switched that. He does laundry now, and I'll do the dishes.
Oh, man, that's a fair trade. See, I don't do laundry or the dishes. We save that for a 19-year-old daughter.
Hey, I'm going to start the 4-year-old. The 2-year-old starting on laundry now. He helps.
Oh, there you go.
The 4-year-old goes around after me picking up, so we train them.
It's like it's at the point where you can show them, but it's also going to be like 5 steps backwards if they do it. Like, hey, take the trash out. They're going to drag it, and there's going to be shit all over the driveway and yard. It's going to look like the raccoons were out there.
They clean the toy room, and so they take all their toys from all the other rooms, and they throw them in the toy room, and so they ricochet everywhere.
Oh, yeah. Just a couple little drywall dents. No harm.
Yeah,
a couple pen marks.
Cortez-sized boys throwing things in my house. It was fun. Oh, God.
I can only imagine what it'd be like in the Cortez house as kids. Man, all them big boys running around.
Oh, you don't want to know, Shane. I can just think of Jared, how many things... Just playing baseball outside. I don't know what happened, but it's like, how did that ball get... Oh, okay. And that's when I was in the picture.
That's when you just disappear. Like, you just turn the shoulder. You know?
Like, what? Where?
Okay, so, well, first of all, I want to say here, Shot 30 Podcast is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Castbox. If you haven't already, please, if you have an iPhone, just go leave an Apple review. Those make a huge difference for us. And also on YouTube, if you haven't hit subscribe, I mean, 95% of people have a YouTube and they don't even realize it. Just go hit subscribe because all it does is help us. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, so... Now, the adoption world is kind of a weird world as well. We'll go back in, but I do want to say that isn't it kind of a weird thing that you can foster a child, but then, like, in a lot of these circumstances, like, it costs a lot of money to adopt. That's a lot of money.
Yep, it costs so much. And the thing with our situation, I met our adoptive parents very early on. It took a couple years for them to even finalize the adoption. Mm-hmm. We would move in with them, and then things would go back, and they'd take us back to our birth family. And then we'd get ripped away again, go to another emergency foster home. And so then my parents would come back and grab us again. And it was like the uncertainty of as a child was so hard. But then...
It's like you're just... I mean, it really is just like... The humane, the dog shelter. I mean, it's like, oh, which one do I want?
Well, and if you think about it, you get a dog and it starts tearing up the couch a little bit, so you take it back. There's situations with kids like that. And you can understand it too.
No, I do. You adopt a 14-year-old kid, and next thing you know, they're standing over the bed with a knife. What are you gonna do?
And those situations do happen, and it's hard, and that's why right now the system for the older kids, they told my parents we were 3 and 4 at the time. It was finalized when we were 4 and 5, whatever, but they told us if they did not adopt us, they were splitting us up, and I was probably done for.
That's such a sad splitting up siblings. It's a sad thing, but also people, it's so not uncommon for people to adopt, but it's just so hard. Like we said with the money thing,
it's so expensive. I mean, if you're looking to adopt, you're looking to buy a house.
Oh,
at minimum. Mm-hmm. And that's if things go smoothly, and it's just a real quick. Okay, I hear you can have my kid. I can't take care of it. I never asked my parents. I don't want to know. But, you can pop... I mean, I popped out 2 kids. Not saying that they weren't any less expensive, but the thing is they became expensive after all that.
Yeah.
And I mean the doctors, yes, the doctor's appointments, insurance helped with that. There's not a lot of aid for adopting parents either.
That's a weird thing. You would think that that'd be actually a very cheap system. Like, that would be not a cheap system in the... why is it so expensive? Is it because that money goes back into these adoption foundations and these industries, like, to help these kids better themselves in education? Or is it just because somebody wants to get rich off something?
The sad
because
part,
it's such a compassionate type of subject.
It is.
So you're like, oh, we'll get rich off this because you're desperate to adopt a child. I'll just sit back and wait. You're gonna pay my dollar.
That's exactly. And the sad
sounds so
part
fucked up.
There are wonderful foster parents. I'm not speaking on any like percentage or whatever, but there are the people out there that each kid is a paycheck.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know people. Yeah.
And it's like, okay, if you're in it for the money, get out. The kids need you. And I know people that want to foster and they're afraid, and it's like, for me, I'll push you. I understand why you're afraid, because for one, if your heart's in it, you're going to get your heart broken.
Yeah.
You're going to have kids come in and out. And
oh, that's the worst thing. Like, fostering. Me and Timmy talked about that. Like, oh, there's no way. I fall in love with a fly. I don't know. Not a fly, but yeah, like I fall in love with things and people so fast that then you just push them right out the door. See ya. Like, that's a tough. And then on to the next one.
Yeah. Here's another one.
Yeah.
And again, the people that can do it are. I don't even know if I could do it at this point. I told Carrie maybe when we retire, but right now.
And I mean, and it doesn't have to be a baby. It it doesn't have to be a little kid even. That's the best thing about the system too. Like, well, it can save kids of any age. Yeah. I adopted Cassidy when she was 15, and people's like, oh, you're adopting a full grown. I'm just adopting Cassidy. Like, that's all it is. There doesn't need to be an explanation to anything, and everybody, whatever. I don't care.
I have told Carrie, there are people, like, I love babies. Give me the babies. Trying to convince Carrie for another baby. But then there are people, my dad, even with his grandkids, he's like, oh, that's cute. I'll hold it when it, like, can kind of hold its own, He's like, I'm not going to touch that thing for a little bit.
Yeah.
Some people, it would be better. Get the teenager that you're like, okay, I'm ready for, I don't know. It helps them. It gets them in a better situation.
Okay, so real life, just ask you like a random question here.
Yeah.
If you were like adopting a child and okay, I don't know how I actually want to word this. Actually, I'm going to go back to that because I want to think about how I want to word this because it's like a very in-depth question, and I'm hoping you can answer it.
I understand.
But, okay, so you got adopted when you were 5 or... Okay.
I had just turned 5.
So what age were you put in the system?
Around 2. So in and out.
Okay, so so that means your brother was put in at like 4 or 5 months?
Yeah, he was like yeah.
Oh my.
I mean, the situation we came from, our mom was not in a good spot. And she struggled with things at the time. And I understand. And she's gotten better and her life is better. And I'm very happy
and you
for
know her.
I know her.
Okay.
And we've gotten to know each other. I've answered a lot of questions on how I am the way I am. That's for sure. But, it was a dark time in her life, and it sucks that there were kids involved.
Yep.
And that's just, now it's over with, we move on. But as the kid that was in that situation,
that's the hard thing.
You still gotta, bring
because it'd be very easy for me to sit here and say, well, at least she, you guys didn't go starved. You didn't go without shelter. You didn't go without all these things. It's very easy for me to sit here and say that. It's also very easy for me to sit here and say that you ended up in a better situation. But that doesn't change the fact that, this is you going through this. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%.
And, I am so blessed. So completely blessed. My parents, I love my parents so much.
Have I ever actually met them? I'm not sure if I have.
I don't think you actually met him in my especially in high school, my parents were helicopter parents, so which understandable.
What's helicopter parents mean?
Like they were hovering.
Oh, gotcha.
I was the valedictorian, like I did all the sports. I was super busy. Curfew was 9-10 o'clock, and phones were put up on the...
Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no.
When you went to bed, your phone was on my parents' dresser, and then in the morning I'd wake up, my dad'd be like, so Carrie text you at,
Oh, no.
So, yes.
That's why you got to get a burner phone back in high school, dude.
Yeah, and I got so sneaky, and, so now my parents are like, yeah, we probably shouldn't have done that.
Get those minute cards and hide it on a secret phone.
Oh, yeah, it was... Well, then we figured out ways to, call each other.
Oh, my God. You got to think. We're figuring out when we're in high school. Imagine that.
Oh, my God. Okay.
Okay, so when we're in high school, the ways you message... It's call, message, or MySpace or something like that. Yep. Maybe Facebook, not yet. I don't know.
Barely.
Yeah. But now, a kid wants to talk to somebody, dude, you give them something that's got a button on it. It doesn't matter. It could be this, and they're going to figure out how to get on YouTube on a clock. I don't know. What the hell? Yeah.
My 4-year-old's teaching me things, and I'm like, this is way too early for this shit.
Dude,
I can't do this.
I was seeing the same thing. Rocklyn, picks up her iPad, and she's like, well, watch this. And I'm like, damn, are you doing calculus on this? What the hell is this?
Smart.
Yeah.
I met her, and I was like, you are gonna get along with my boys.
Yeah, she's an independent little baller, dude.
Yeah, she is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's a stud. Okay, so real quick here. Hey, Shot 30 Podcast is sponsored by Mrs. Newbie's Cakes and Cookies. Mrs. Newbie's Cakes and Cookies is the greatest cake decorating bakery type deal in the history of the planet. She's making those cocoa bombs for Christmas right now, and hopefully this is out in time. There'll still be time before Christmas before this is out. This will be first week of December. By the time we put this out, we got 6 episodes ahead of this. She's making those cocoa bombs that you put in the hot chocolate, and then they melt open, bust open with cocoa and marshmallows and stuff. But yeah, also she's taking orders for Christmas cakes, anything like that. Thanksgiving's going to be done and gone by the time we post this, so I can't promote that. But Mrs. Newbie's Cakes and Cookies on Facebook and Instagram. She's also doing giveaways, a lot of giveaways. She's been doing a lot of giveaways. Yeah.
Love her.
I love her too. She's the best.
Mm-hmm.
Except for when she wakes up in the middle of the night and wakes everybody up and starts screaming and running around the house. She's a kook. She's the best.
I love it, though. Keeps you on your toes.
Oh, God, I guess. I guess.
You need some excitement in your life.
What was she yelling last night? Oh, that she was Yondu and the whistling. I was like, what are you doing? Yeah, somebody needs to keep alcohol out of her hands. It's really, it's just out of control at this point.
In your mouth as you're talking. Yeah. Here, take my foot.
Yeah, we all had a Survivor watch-a-thon last night.
Yes.
We were all up till 4 a.m. watching Survivor for some reason, drinking tequila and Fireball.
Oh, that was a great idea.
It wasn't the worst idea.
Wasn't.
I mean, except for the fact that it's 9 a.m. right now, and we're doing this podcast. Yeah. I don't know how we're alive.
I don't know. We both woke up and it was like, I don't think we can do this.
Everybody was taking pit stops in the kitchen for pizza. I don't even know. I ate half that you were munching on. You were eating a piece and then threw it back out and spit out the rest. So I was like, oh, I could eat the half she didn't eat, or I could eat what she spit out. So I ate that. I don't know.
Yeah. It's like my boys and Carrie just follow me around because I'll eat something and then I put it down and they're like, snitch.
Aww.
I cannot eat a lot of food at one time. It's just, I never can. I don't know. I mean, the rule is your stomach's as big as your fist, right?
Okay.
So, I mean,
well, then that's a very, very small stomach. I mean, that must mean... maybe that makes sense because I don't have the biggest fist in the world. I got giant fingers and knuckles, but I don't have a big fist. And I don't eat very much. I can drink like a boss, but I don't eat very much.
Yeah, water, liquids work differently, but I can't do it.
I wouldn't quite say that you drank like a boss last night. Let's get it out.
I don't drink like a boss at all.
I mean, you recover like a boss.
No, I do. I bounce back.
Yeah, you bounced back like a boss.
But once I go down, you got to give me like a period of time.
if your parents are listening to this, let's make it very clear. She's a killer when it comes to bouncing back. She just needs to know when to figure out when this is my moment to get out of. Yeah, because you did liqueur 43. Oh, and then Fireball, and then. Oh, I'm just getting sick even thinking about it.
Can't mix.
Okay.
That was stupid.
Yeah, I mean, you just become like a... What is those, like, cocktail shakers? That's what your body becomes.
Oh, and that's how I felt, too. Don't mix.
I didn't think about that. Okay, so we all went to we have a hot tub in the garage, and we were going to watch a movie and get in the hot tub. But I never thought about it. Every time I've ever been drinking and got in the hot tub, I feel like shit.
Oh.
But I thought, like, even yesterday, I was kind of relaxed, but I wasn't... I mean, I wasn't where you were at. Now, but the opposite is, every time I've been drinking and get in the pool, when we have the pool up, way different. Yep. Like, I'll just sober up right away. Yep. Yeah, so it's got to be the heat, because the heat must dehydrate you or something. I don't know.
But anytime I get hot while I'm drinking, it's game over. You gotta, which is great in your house, because your house is so cold.
Well, the best thing about the house and the garage is there's air movement everywhere, because we don't have neighbors. Essentially, we don't have neighbors on any side of the house. That's true. Yeah. So we just get that air movement.
Which I appreciated on Halloween when I was hiding in Carrie's cloak.
Oh, God. Yeah.
To be honest, if I drink, I'm probably going to puke at some point in the night. It's just going to happen.
It sounds like if you come over to our house, you're going to puke.
If I drink, unless it's like one drink or something, if there's shots, if I mix...
But it's so fun.
It is.
Even with the puking, I mean, like, it's still pretty fun.
But legit, though, I think Timmery's the only one of us that hasn't really puked when we've gotten together yet. I mean, like, I wasn't around for you, though. That was a bachelor party.
Yeah, so that one doesn't count. And it was a bachelor party that I threw. And I am the second best man, so I had to keep, like... everybody partying because it was at the house. And also at that, I did 2 podcasts, 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. That morning, and drank for both of them, and ended my night at 2:30 with Carrie putting me to bed. So for me to withhold that for that long, I was kind of a champion.
That's actually really the fact that you start your day that way and then can keep going. If I start starting today, Carrie's gonna drive home, and I'm in the car.
Yeah. Well, everybody's gonna sleep when we get home.
The boys are be like, "Mommy, Daddy, why are you sleeping?"
Yeah. I mean, but this is more like, I feel like this drink is waking me up. It's not the worst.
No, it is helping, I will say.
And it's a very subtle. It's just a Moscow Mule. That's what we're drinking on at 9 a.m. on a Sunday. Hey. But cheers to you.
Cheers to you. And pestering Carrie enough to come back so that we could all start being friends again.
Yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's a weird way that how friendships work. Like, when people are in school, high school, college, like that, or in their young adult lives, they have friends. Okay? But when you're an adult, like when you have kids and you have lives, a husband, all these things... you don't have friends anymore. It becomes more of your people. You know, it's not like, hey, this is my buddy. No, buddies aren't going to be there for you when things are going wrong. Exactly. You know, like, adult friends are way different than when we were kids. You know, it's a whole different world. People who help you. People who would be there if there's an emergency. Yeah. You know, think about in high school or college or whatever. You get real sick. Who's calling to check on you? Like, really? No one. Yep. No one. Just people who really love you. That's it. Maybe a couple people. Yep. But you get sick in today's, like, with all the close people who love you, they're going to be worried about you. They're going to message. They're going to call. They're going to be at the hospital. They're going to, have their kids talk. Yeah.
Well, especially right now.
That's also maturing, like being, growing as a maturity. But it's
finding those different relationships that fill those parts of your life.
And it filters out all the, like, yeah, it's like the gold miners.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like you have this huge basket of dirt and whatever else could be in here in water. Mm-hmm. And then as you get older and the longer you shake, you find those pieces of gold at the end, and those are going to be the ones that are really there for the longest.
Size.
Man,
they always have
good.
Different. You had a great analogy there, Shane.
Thank
that
you.
was amazing, because every piece of gold is going to be different too. Each one's it's going to be a different value to you.
Mm-hmm.
Shane, that was brilliant.
You'll have a giant nugget.
You on
yeah,
that?
Absolutely. That one wasn't bad.
That was
a giant nugget, and that's the person who would do anything at the.
That's your person.
Oh yeah, it's a good thing.
And you found your person, and I'm so happy. I love your person though.
I love her too.
Good thing you found her before I did.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. I mean, Timmery brings out the best qualities in me in every which way.
She's a supporter. She's a lover. She is just an amazing woman. She pushes people to be their best, and she shows everyone their best side. And
she just gives everybody so much love. She just makes you, like, sometimes she just makes you feel like, we make this joke. I'm like, you're my mommy, make me feel better. Yeah. But like, dude, she kind of does just give me like, sometimes I'm like, I'm just having a bad day. And she just, come on, I'm your mother. Yeah. What do you need? And I'm like, breast milk. She's great. Oh, okay. So let's dive back in. Now, okay. So first of all, where were you when you got adopted? Because this is part of my curiosity. Mm-hmm. Is your birth mother local? Yes, we were actually up in the Davenport area, and she did grow up in Kewanee actually for a while. Then they moved out there. Don't you think that they would want to more or less place kids away from the birth parent? I don't know. Actually, it's the exact opposite. They try to keep you with your birth family as long to a point, I get it. So give the birth mom or birth family a chance. And tell them, get your shit in line. But 4 or 5 times of, back and forth. You can put a child up for adoption and then go back and get them? We weren't put up for adoption. We were taken from the state. Oh, I understand now. So okay, that's way different. I understand. But yes, you can. My parents actually, before they adopted me and my brother, applied to adopt a baby girl around the same age as I am. And a week before the adoption was finalized, the birth mother changed her mind and took the baby back. Eesh. And so then my parents... That's like what's going on in This Is Us right now. Yeah, our life, it's so funny. I tell Carrie I'm going to write a book about it, because my parents said that they still have the adoption papers, and I read them, and they signed to look for a child on April 11th of 1993. Okay. That was the day I was born. Whoa. Dang. That's crazy. It really is. And so, they kept fighting, and they're like, why are we not finding, why can't we're good people, we have our lives established, they were the prime people. Well, then they're like, well, we figured out we needed that time for your brother to be born, and we needed to meet you. We needed that time, to find you. So Addie, what do you have a hobby? I don't really. You don't have a hobby that you do at all? Nothing? I do a lot of... Me and Carrie are just talking about this. I know you do a lot of... you take care of the boys a lot, and you do a lot of stuff at home. You're busy, but do you don't have a hobby? I read. Sometimes I write little... Carrie's trying to get me back into writing. I'm technically a published writer. I wrote poems and that sort of thing. Why don't you start a podcast? Maybe you don't even need to do the video, just a podcast. Mm-hmm. I can help you. But you could do it on this. You could do it on your writings. You could do it on just mother life. And then you also, if you ever need to bump somebody in there, your husband's super interesting. And you guys have done a million things together. I think you'd be really, really great at it, and you're a really good speaker.
Thank you.
I think you'd be great at it.
Thank you.
I didn't know how this would go. I mean, every podcast just seems like normal, but you're actually really good at.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, just sitting here and just talking.
I like to talk, Shayne. Anyone that knows me knows. So, okay. The way... Can I bring up how we even... Besides how we met in high school?
Sure.
I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
He dated one of my best friends in high school. So, I talked to her the other day, and I was like, so can you imagine a child with... Carrie and Wendy have a funny relationship too. And I said, can you imagine a kid with my love of talking and Carrie's lung capacity? And Wendy was silent. And she said, I am so sorry.
That's funny.
Because she could just hear him blabbing. But yes, Carrie and I like to talk, but Carrie...
You guys should start a podcast. Or at least you and chip him in. He just needs to sing. That boy just needs to sing.
Talking, and then he could sing for like commercial breaks.
Oh, that'd be smooth. I don't know. I think you should. I think you guys should. And I think it'd give you guys like... Also, sorry, I get the chills sometimes. It's like Tourette's. I get them like it's almost. I swear it's like Tourette's sometimes. I'm like, I just don't scream like fuck.
Do you ever get like a spasm like up your neck?
Yep, I do it all. Yeah, I do. I normally get it. I don't understand why it happens, but I get it a lot when I'm like at Walmart, and it's like not Walmart, but like at a store or something. But I'll be like in line, and somebody like creeps me out, and I get like the like the chill, like somebody standing right beside me, and it just gives me the. But like I do it so bad, it's like, I don't know, like I twitch my whole body.
Do you feel like you're an empath? Like you feed off of other people's emotions?
I don't know.
Like if someone is upset, do you get upset around them? Do you start to feel that anxiety? That right away.
So
you're an empath. So I think I'm gonna get kind of like.
I just don't want people to breathe down my neck at Walmart.
Well, I think you can like... I'm going to get all weird, new agey. You can feel people's auras. Like, you can feel the creep. You get that gut feeling when you're around certain people.
I feel like
that
we should get some like gems out and some stones and some sage in here. Yeah, dude. Okay. We have a Ouija board in the other. But I do understand what you're saying. And I do. Like, right away, I feel like I know right away the second I talk to somebody. I had a guy on the podcast, and I sat here, and most of the time, you're short, so it's a little bit different. But most of the time, this is right here, and all I see is people's eyes. Mm-hmm. And so the second this guy was telling me a story, I was like, "You won this whole competition, didn't you?" He goes, "How did you know that?" I was like, "I sit here." I said, "Your eyes just lit up." I said, "Because you have to realize, I've done 100 episodes with 70 different people, and I sit here and look at their eyes, and I can see a story." When you start to tell one, like right away, I can read eyes because I sit here and I don't see mouths. I just look in eyes. Each person tells their story. Yep,
there's a lot you can, and Carrie and I are big on eyes because we've noticed like how much emotion, especially now with masks. Oh my gosh. You can read emotion through eyes.
Oh man, and everybody looks like an asshole.
There's a lot of times, yes. Well, I mean, if you go to Walmart, everyone's just looking like an asshole because I look like an asshole because I'm like, don't fucking talk to me. I'm at Walmart. I don't want anyone to talk to me.
I just feel like I can finally be who I really am and I wear lipstick underneath my mask.
Yes.
So no one knows, like no one's going to judge me.
I mean, you really shouldn't have to feel like there's a mask. I'm that person that you shouldn't care.
I don't think I've ever actually really wanted to wear lipstick, but I did wear lipstick under my mask.
I love that. I watched that. Yeah. Carrie and I watched it probably like 5 times.
I'm a pretty girl.
Yeah. We randomly, Carrie'd be like, "Hey babe, Shayne." And I'm like, "Yes."
Yeah, we're trying to keep working on these skits. I want to use you guys for some of the skits too. I know Carrie really, I tried to use Carrie, and both of you guys actually get kicked off TikTok.
I mean,
people who listen to this, they already know how shitty I'm treated on there.
That's stupid. I absolutely, it makes me so mad that there can be, and I'm sorry, just because someone looks a certain way or has so much money that they can say or do XYZ. Mm-hmm. I really just think someone is jealous of you and they're like, Shayne, report.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm jealous. Report.
I don't know. I just hope that they, like, hey, quit doing that to me. Like, that's all I got.
If you have an issue, just get out. There's the door. Just click.
All right, before we go on here, I wanted to say, hey, thank you to Russia and the United Kingdom. We are in the top 20 in comedy podcasts in Russia and the United Kingdom. And thank you guys so much for downloading South Africa, too. That's so crazy. I didn't even know you guys had phones down there. I don't know. I thought there was, like, no electricity down there. So, hey, thank you for putting us in your top 100. It's very cool to see it on, like, charts and other... It's like, hey, United States, what are we doing, guys? I mean, we're right here. We're just waiting. We made it in the top 100 a couple times in the United States, but whatever. Okay, also, Handmade by Haley. Hey, Christmas time is right around the corner, and I'm telling you, I was just at my buddy Riley's house the other day, and they have her stuff all over the house. We have her stuff all over the house. She makes handcrafted signs. She makes oven covers. It could say... the Cortez house, just so much beautiful stuff. She made this sign right here. She made that sign back there. Handmade by Haley. It's front door pickup from Kewanee, Illinois. She's on Facebook. Go check it out. Handmade by Haley. And I love her and I love her man. All right. And they have some great looking dogs. You want to know? I do want to talk about her for a minute. And she's probably sitting there like, Shayne, this fucking asshole. He's gonna say.
She's probably mad at us because we still have to pick up the sign. Like every time we've gone by, and we're leaving, blah blah blah. We're like, okay, we're gonna pick up our sign. We got to drop off, blah 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 blah. And then we're on the outside of town, and we're like,
She was talking about something the other day, and I was like, really drawn into it. Her dog, I don't think it's Winston. I can't remember which one of her dogs it is. Knows when she's going to have her seizures.
Mm-hmm. I think it is.
And so the other day she posted like, oh, he knows something's up and he's following me around. And because she's had, I think 7 years, she's had the dog for 7 years, and he knows when she's going to have a seizure. I don't know why. I don't know why I was fascinated by that, but I thought it was so like...
Actually,
not awesome that Haley's gonna have a seizure. I mean, but awesome that the dog is at least giving her those signs. And
dogs are amazing when it comes to that, Shayne. I mean, beyond man's best friend. Actually, my parents. Another thing that is another roller coaster of my life. My parents' dog 8 years ago. He's now passed away. Actually, was the reason my mom got tested for breast cancer, because he would not lay on the one side of my mom's chest. Mm-hmm. And she thought it was very weird.
Oh, that is crazy.
So, like, he was all up on my mom before that, but he avoided that boob like it was the plague. Uh-huh. And so she went to her doctor, and they're like, oh, no, you should be fine. And then she's like, I'm going to get a second opinion. And found out it was stage 3 breast cancer.
And so she's doing okay?
She's doing good. She's right now, it's been 8 years. She's at stage 4. It did move, which the type of cancer she has, it's basically just fighting it off the whole time. It'll come back no matter what. But the fact that she's fought for 8 years is amazing, and she is an amazing woman. I love my mom so much. She is the strongest person I have ever met. I mean, my dad ended up tripping over a filing cabinet.
How the hell you trip over a filing cabinet?
He
tripped into it?
He turned like this and went to stand, and the drawer pulled out, and in that one solid movement, he went forward.
Gotcha.
Shattered a disc in his back.
Hey.
So he was pretty much, he was bedridden for years. And this was when me and my brother were doing sports. We were doing school and everything. My mom was helping with homework. She's a teacher. She was taking care of my dad. She was the taxi driver. She was the bus driver. She was everything. And she did it all. And then all of a sudden, I'm taking care of these 2 little kids with the help of my husband. I'm like, how did she do this?
Yeah.
Oh my God. She is absolutely amazing. Yes.
What's her name?
Diane Savage.
Diane Savage. Hey, you're a baller. And this is to you. Diane Savage.
Cheers to you. Anyone that knows her knows that too. And that's the greatest part.
Hey, go to Viola, Illinois, and Bone Collector. Wait, have you seen this? Oh my God! Wait till you see some of this. Bone Collector is catering. He's a competitive barbecue guy. Oh, it is. He brought his stuff here. His episode is going to be probably today, actually. Okay. I'm going to probably post it today. Okay. He's an incredible dude. I'm going to have his wife on the podcast, too. She has got an incredible story to tell as well. But Bone Collector in Viola, Illinois, go check it out on Facebook. But they have catering. I mean, he's doing turkeys for Christmas and Thanksgiving. He smokes them. And then, oh, God, I don't know what to say other than... God.
Give me some smoked barbecue.
Oh my God. He brought, like, when he came on the show, dude, he had just pallets of meat in here. I'm sitting here. I mean, look at Yoda. Yoda's got the, you can only do this when you're recording. Press X on that. I think we're still good. Yep. I just pressed a button. But that's the Bone Collector hat on Yoda. And then he brought some koozies and stuff. Oh, he was awesome. His pulled pork. Ooh! Bone Collector, Viola, Illinois. Go check it out.
You're making me so hungry.
Oh, it was so good.
Oh, no, but don't stop it.
Yeah, I think we have some oh, my God.
Don't make me rage your friend.
Oh, God. So, I mean, do you have any more that you want to talk about with the adoption stuff? I mean, I could talk to you forever. It sounds like the kids are getting a little restless upstairs.
Yeah.
We've got 45 minutes. We can just plan on doing another one.
Yeah, we could. I was just going to say, if you are thinking about becoming a foster parent or, going about that road, yes, weigh your pros and cons, but know that what goes around comes around. Yes, you might get your heart broken a couple times, but you're doing something positive and it'll come back to you.
Oh, I do want to tell you something.
Yes.
So I'm in college, of course. I don't know why I started this at 28, 29. Like, 28, 29 years old. Hey, I'm going to college now. Like, I don't know why I did it. But
don't miss it.
So I'm in 3 classes, which actually makes me a full-time student.
Yep.
So I called this woman the other day to schedule my spring classes. This woman was so awesome. Like, I had 1,000 questions. Like, everything. Like, I'm like... Every class I'm in right now, these guys are dicks. And I'm in public speaking, and this guy is telling me that I'm one of the... Like, I need to improve on my speaking. I need to improve on my camera presence. Like, I'm a terrible public speaker. He's giving me terrible grades. And I said, literally, like, I do a podcast. Like, I do this for, like, a living. And the guy's like, well, you can't use that as credibility for my class. Yeah. So, this woman, she was so incredible. I was telling her about this, and she goes, well, we're going to sign you up for 3 classes. And she goes, you kind of got some bad teachers. I'm going to look at this list, and I'm going to give you some of the better teachers. And then I was like, okay, what happens after I get my associate's degree? Can I transfer and get a bachelor's? Because I'd like to. Especially because it's free. I'm doing it for free through the union, through Timmery's work.
Yes.
Yeah, me, Timmery, and Cassidy are all just in college. And this woman answered a million questions, and I said, hey, can I get your supervisor's contact information? And she's like, why is that? I said, because you're absolutely awesome.
Yes.
And so I sent this long email of, just why she was awesome and give her praise because she deserves it. She was great. And what I was telling Timmery and what I said in the email is everybody jumps to be so mad and mean. Like, dude, we jump to, like, scream at the fucking asshole who cut us off.
Be defensive.
Or, like, we jump to go back into McDonald's and scream because that guy didn't give my fries. But we so little don't appreciate the really good people and stuff that are doing really well. And actually doing great at their jobs. Like, we don't do that. We don't show appreciation anymore.
It's true. We become
monsters.
Yes.
I mean, really, we are becoming monsters. Maybe not you and me.
We're impatient. I mean, if you are not, you can very much so tell a difference in someone that has worked in those situations and that haven't. Because, I've done it a couple of times where I went to Taco Bell, got home, realized I was missing half my order. And I called them up. I'm like, hey, I'm missing. And they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Come back through. So I do. And they're always so apologetic and I'm like, you know what? I've worked fast food. I totally understand. But if you're going to come at the window and be like, here, then you know what?
Or like, what the fuck is wrong with you, you dumb fuck? Oh my God. Like,
the people that...
I mean, me and Carrie can tell you about Menard stories. I think one day what we're going to do...
I miss you guys working because I could actually get some... The only time I get help is when I wear a nice skimpy outfit and I'm putting something in the back of the trunk and then I'm like, hey, there's finally someone coming to help. Jesus Christ.
If your mom's listening to this now she knows what she's doing up at the Nards, dude.
She knows I'm hardly there. And there's a one-time loading rock.
You got literally 2 bricks to load. You're like, whew, let me drop this off.
Well, it doesn't help. It was those freaking bags of river rock, Shane.
Oh, dude, those...
You know how much those weigh?
They're not just heavy, they're dirty as shit.
Yes.
Dude, they're so filthy.
And I weigh nothing. And I'm lifting this thing, I'm like, ugh.
You know, one time I had to load 10 bags of those, which is not a big deal. I was just tossing them on, I was tossing them on, and I smelled something, and it smelled horrific.
Oh, good.
And for people who don't know, I used to be assistant manager of a Menards lumberyard.
My husband's boss.
Yeah, dude. We'll drop those stories. We'll drop those stories one day here. But I was loading up these river rock, and something smelled. And so I was like, damn, dude, does this guy got a dead body in his car? I drop one more bag off, and there was a rat that was squished. So when they were loading those rocks, they loaded it right on top of a rat.
Oh, no.
And I'll never forget the smell of that rat. It smelled like Hillary Clinton's vajay and Donald Trump, I don't... All right, maybe I'm going to get off the political, smells. Political. We're going to start a segment on Shot 30 called Political Smells with Shane and Addie. I'm going to wrap this up, dude. We're a solid hour in. Addie, thank you so much. Let's do this again. It'll be Carrie. We'll set it up, Carrie and Mish, and we'll all just do a 4-way table here. It'll be awesome.
Fun.
It would be a lot of fun. And I think you should start a podcast or something, or even a vlog type deal. That'd be awesome. You can put your writings on it. Just read your writings.
Thank you.
And then
I'll try.
Yeah, you need a hobby. Don't just...
I do need
I know you're... You seem with the boys getting older too, it makes it a lot easier. That's why you and Carrie should not have another kid.
Well,
Carrie told me to say that.
I'm kind of... I think that's why he's afraid, because he's like, okay, so are you just trying to have a baby to fill the void of not having a hobby? I'm like, well, kids are my hobby, so I mean...
But you should... I think, you should have... I mean, and you're talented and you're super smart. So you need to... utilize that more than you're doing. I'm not saying that you're doing a bad job, because you're... I mean, those kids are great, and so is your husband, and so is your house, but
let's
do something for you.
Thank you.
Do something more for you. And you have a lot of talent to do that. This is Shot 30 Podcast. I am Shayne Neubert. Shot 30 Podcast is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Castbox, and YouTube if you're listening on the apps. Leave a review. Leave a comment down below. Like, share, subscribe. If you're not subscribed, please just hit subscribe, because we need a few more subscribers. We're trying to get to a mark where the podcast starts pushing itself. We don't have to push it as hard as we are, and so we just need your guys' help. This is Shot 30 Podcast. That's Addie Cortes. Thank you so much, Addie. I love you, and thank you guys for listening.
Thank you.
That was smooth. That was easy.
That was actually